What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix's new documentary feature, Jailbreak, Love on the Run. Let's rock this. This latest true crime docu from Netflix is bonkers. It's not infuriating technically, and it's not chilling either. That's not how I would characterize it, but the whole thing is kind of like a giant fucked up Romeo and Juliet story that turns into a Bonnie and Clyde cat and mouse thriller. And the fact that all of this actually happened leaves me speechless. Look, I understand loneliness. I've been there. I know how painful that feeling can be. But how lonely, how stupid, how desperate are you that you have to resort to falling head over heels for a dangerous criminal? Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this case before. It was all over the news just a few years ago. And then Tubi made a cheesy movie about it. And then Lifetime Channel also made an equally cheesy movie about it. And so now Netflix is bringing you this documentary, which I would argue is a far more effective way of chronicling and recounting the events in details, straight from the mouths of the people who lived through it. Jailbreak Love on the Run is kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad at the same time. But sad in a tragic sense, in that by the end of it, I feel an immense amount of pity for Vicky White and others like her who think that they have no other choice but to let themselves be manipulated into romance. Now that's just devastating. Produced by Aaron Ginsberg, William Green, and Alec McRae, in Jailbreak Love on the Run, when Vicky White, a highly respected corrections officer, aids the escape of a violent felon nearly 20 years her junior, it reveals an unexpected love story amidst the ensuing high-profile manhunt and media frenzy. As far as the docu itself, it's very engaging from start to finish. Everybody who worked with Vicky participated as the talking heads, and it's very well put together to the point where the docu gives you a clear, complete picture of who Vicky was, what her daily routine was like, and the changes in her behavior that everybody around her started to notice. And because it's a detention facility, there are camera surveillance footage and phone audio recordings out the wazoo, so much so that the reenactments are just fillers here and there. They don't need the reenactments as much because the CCTV and the phone audio already sufficiently help in telling the entire story, which goes to show how brazen Casey and Vicky were, fully knowing that their conversations were taped and their movements were caught on camera, but they did it anyway. They did not give a single fuck. The balls on them. Unbelievable. If I were to point out Vicky and Casey's big mistake in their big escape, is that they spent too much time hanging around in a couple of states from Alabama. What are you doing? You got a 2-week head start and you still haven't reached the border by now? Man, that's the part that cracks me up. And their plan to live together forever hiding out in the woods is so goddamn stupid. And they end up spending lazy time in hotels and motels anyway, which is dumb on top of dumb. On the docu, one of the investigators said that while Vicky may be law enforcement smart, she's not street smart. Boom. That analysis hits the nail on the head because that is Vicky's Achilles heel. Look, don't get me wrong. Casey is the asshole in all this. He is the manipulator. Whether or not you believe that they're actually in love, that's beside the point. Casey knew exactly what he was doing when he was sweet-talking Vicky on the phone all that time. But on the other hand, my God, Vicky had a good, respectable job with pension and retirement plan. She even owned a house. Do you know how frustrating it is for millennials and Gen Zs today not having enough savings, not being able to afford to buy a house? Vicky could have retired happily ever after, relaxing in Hawaii or somewhere, but she pissed that away. She pissed it all away for some deadbeat loser. Now that I can never wrap my head around. So yeah, overall I give Jailbreak Love on the Run the rating of 4 out of 5. This docu may not necessarily rile you up, and it has a finality as well, meaning it's not open ended, so to speak. But you can file it under a tragic cautionary tale about a sad, lonely woman named Vicky White.